It's the weekend and school's out. But what's there for kids to do? For Malaysian parents, the most common choices would be to A. Bring them to the mall, B. Send them off to hobby classes, or C. Let them watch cartoons at home because you're too tired from working. Clearly, options are limited when it comes to places where parents and children can spend quality time together, all within the same space. TV personalities and husband and wife duo Nazruddin Rahman and Sheni Iman Lee and Nazruddin's brother Nizam have found an alternative, and they came up with it while playing with Lego.
Lego has always been a part of my life since I was a kid, and meeting my husband and finding out that he was a fellow Lego fan was of course wonderful. We would do date nights with Lego. Instead of going out, we would actually spend time building Lego sets together. And eventually my brother-in-law would join us, and we'd build Lego together and chit-chat. And eventually the Lego collection got really big, and we ran out of space to store it.
Instead of stashing the collection away, they founded BLOKKE, a Lego-themed cafe, come playhouse, come event space, come education center, where the trio's growing Lego collection is proudly displayed. Here, parents can sit back and enjoy a cup of coffee, while their children can have playdates or amuse themselves in the playhouse. Better still, they can rent a Lego set and build something together as a family. Sheni, who has 3 children with Nazruddin, knows firsthand what it's like to struggle to find a place where both parents and children can enjoy themselves.
I found myself really trawling, cafe directories, looking for the right place to go, or indoor playgrounds, and not having anything to do for me. So my kids would have a good time, and I'm just sitting there waiting for them to be done.
Bingo! There was a gap in the market begging to be filled. And Sheni, Nazruddin and Nizam knew it was time they did something about it.
It makes sense because kids, even when the economy is bad, parents will never fail to spend on their kids. Kids are actually wonderful marketers when it comes to businesses. If parents would feel guilty about buying something nice for themselves or spending 30 ringgit to go and do an activity, they will never think twice about doing the same for their kids.
Just as the business idea was brewing, they found someone who wanted to sell off his playhouse business in Petaling Jaya's Cheetah Mall. And that settled it. BLOKKE turned out to be a hit. Instead of catering to just parents and their young children, a risky move given that it is very seasonal, BLOKKE turned to the office crowd to fill their seats on the weekdays. Within 1 year, the startup made back its starting capital of 150,000 ringgit. And soon, business was doing so well to the point where it was bursting at the seams. Every time the space was booked for a party, BLOKKE found itself overwhelmed and forced to turn away walk-in customers.
Our revenue was stunted because we couldn't take in more customers. So we knew we had to grow. How we had to grow was the question mark. For a business like ours, only 2 years old, we had already spent all of our life savings starting this up. We had no money to grow, even though we knew we had to. We could have grown organically. We could have waited another 2 years, 3 years, collected all of that money and started new, but you can't really do that nowadays. Businesses grow so fast that if you don't move quicker than everybody else, you're going to be killed off by competition.
So the trio decided to raise money via equity crowdfunding for a new outlet in Ikano Power Center in Mutiara Damansara. But in the final stages of negotiation, they realized that they were not ready, and that expanding this fast would eventually kill the business. This was because it would have taxed them financially and operationally. So they scrapped the plan. Fortunately, BLOKKE's investors had faith in their vision for the business. Most of them agreed to use the funding to expand BLOKKE's original outlet instead.
I'm very glad to say that what we've built here, it's now 10,000 square feet. We've been able to do a lot more than we ever dreamed we could do. We've learned a lot in the process. So I can safely say, if we decide to expand elsewhere now, we definitely know we can do it.
The extra floor space also gave Sheni and her co-founders room to further develop the social arm of BLOKKE, BLOKKE Labs.
When the natural progression from changing our shop to a classroom came along, we found that a lot of parents who were sending their kids to us were also asking whether we did classes for kids with developmental difficulties, dyslexia, for example, ADHD, and of course, autism. Children who have these difficulties tend to be very drawn to alternative types of education, and Lego, of course, is perfect.
Today, Block Labs is working hand-in-hand with the National Autism Society of Malaysia to develop Block Therapy, Malaysia and Southeast Asia's first autism therapy program using Lego. Profits from Block Labs are donated to NASOM to help subsidize the cost of therapy fees, while the volunteer-run NGO earns a steady income from teaching the program, so that it doesn't need to rely solely on donations to survive.
When we went into business, we knew something straight up was that we didn't want to go into business purely for the purpose of making money. There had to be a social purpose to the business as well. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for us to feel continued passion for it.
Now that Block seems to be finding its feet, would its co-founders consider expanding again?
Definitely we have to try again. We can't give up. Just because we didn't make it the first time, and we got cold feet from that, to be honest. We realized it's okay to make those mistakes. Yes, we did lose money from it. We did. But we learned it's okay to make a tough mistake and learn, and then try again later.